Hello, friends. Welcome back. It's so good to see you. Thank you for joining me in another segment of A Man's Therapy. Today is a different day. Today, I speak to you with kind words of hope and inspiration for men who have. This is a safe space for men to be men. You say, what does that mean? Well, number one, man can come in a safe space, to be themselves. Now, you say, does it for all viewers? Yes. Viewers can comment here. Anybody can comment and you can subscribe here. Now, thank you. I'm your host, Rasheed. I am the host of A Man's Therapy. But today, friends, today is special. I want to share something, give you some wisdom and insight and knowledge about why a man and a woman join together to become one. What that means is two becomes one. So one and one will equal one. You said, wait a minute. I thought one and one equals two. That's before. I'm gonna explain that part. The reason why so many say one and one equal two is because they thinking is one male, one female, and then something else outside of a male and female. And you say, what does that have to do with therapy? It has a lot to do with it because there's something that brings a man and a woman together to become one body. That means you become equal or the same, which means you'll have the same mind and same thinking, which means you'll be equal. That's what that two means. One and one equals one. One, one become one flesh. It says that, let me give you that where I got that from. In Mark chapter 10 and verse 8. And the two shall become one flesh. That's where I got that from. That means you become one body. That means you become one because one equals one that you're aligned with. What that means is that's a spiritual principle. That's biblical because you align yourself under your creator. That's why I say that, friends. So today that makes sense. Now, some of you wondering, how can two become one? Well, for example, if a man and a woman were created in the beginning, that means it started in the beginning. That's why it's male and female. One male for one female. That means it started in the beginning because that's what was told in the beginning. Male and female become there's a male and female that was created in the beginning. So that's why a male and a female become one because they were created during time. Another thing, look, some of y'all, men and women, y'all have different ideas about marriage, about being relationships. Men, reason why men think this way because it was taught this way from their parents that you should marry, have you a girlfriend or wife. That's why men think of picking wives because their parents they were with their parents for a while. But if you realize it, he was with his parents. His parents raised him to be traditional. Now, you said, where does that come from? Well, it came from the Bible. It was told that a man should listen to, be with his mother and father, but he should cleave to his wife because they're married. Married people have to be together. When a man and a woman is married, the man has to leave his mother and father and be with his wife. That means he has to unite with his wife. And once he unites with his wife, his mother and father is not in the picture because he unites with his wife. Now, that's why that applies to that. But sometimes you got to realize sometimes men and women have two different ideas about marriage. Now, the way women look at marriage, y'all look at marriage as someone who you think is on status. Women go based on status, a man's status, what he can bring to me. That's where that comes from. Women look at status. What is his status like? What is his bank account like? Or what is his home life like? Or what is he, But men, we look at it as value, because when we pick a wife, it's about what she bring to me. What value do I have? What value can she create for our environment and for our children? See, that's where the household comes in. So when a man, that's what a man, he looks at family. Family is what a man looks at. That's a man's safe space. So you're his safe space. You're his helpmate. You got to help him wherever you're bring to. They already did. A lot of 4,000 people join a channel. A lot of people join a channel. Value. He needs some value. He needs to see what you can do for him. Whatever you can bring it to him that can build something. How do you build? You bring whatever it is, like treasures. It's like a treasure. You bring him something, he'll add someone and you equal. So you have to equal each other. That's how you become the same, become one. You have to equal out things. But some look at a partnership, some look at 50-50. I don't know where all that stuff come from. Situationship, I don't know what that means. Nowadays, a situationship, 50-50, I don't know where all this, the high value tier, I don't know where all that stuff come from. Well, I know one man for one woman. That's all I know. That's the traditional way. That's the way it's supposed to be, because it came from the mother and father. When they saw their mother and father, that's where he gets that idea from, because he saw his mother and father. So that's what he learned his values from. That's how man looks at marriage, because he saw his mother and father, and now he's thinking, if I pick a wife, she got to have those same values that match my values. But that's when two become one. That's the principle a lot of men go by, because God ordained a man and a woman to be together as one. That's what was told in the beginning of time. Man was created first. Adam was created first. From the dust of the ground, God molded Adam and made him into clay, which means some of you don't understand this. When you're molded into clay, he made man into a figure, which is a shape. So man became, it was a human. So he put man in the middle of a garden, the midst, which means right in the middle, to watch over, be an overseer or provide or protector of God's paradise. That's where that came from. That was in Genesis. Go read that. This is not about a battle between sexes. I don't know where this stuff come from, but that's the way it was told in the beginning, because this story was told how man was made. It was made because God created us as a figure or shape to protect what is his. He wants us, he wants us to oversee it. That's why when man was made, he was made to protect things, to provide for things, to provide, protect, to not only protect, but to create, to be fruitful. That means to create babies. So the woman was made from the man to create a baby. Women came from us. That's what the Bible said. And then women was born. She was shaped. She had a different shape. So Adam had a companion. That's what some of you are looking for, a companion. Some of y'all are looking for like a partner. You partake in a partner, someone who you can build with, someone who you can talk to, someone who you can do things with. But a lot of you women out there, especially a lot of you women out there, are trying to find a partner. But remember, it's about a companion. A companion is someone who you spend time with. Then they become a partner When you build together, your finances, they become a part of that. Partake in, see, partake means they'll be a part of, part. They'll do their half, then you do your half, then y'all build together. The partnership comes when you figure out the finances, you figure out how to deal with managing the household. Sometimes women will look at a household as a place of luxury. Luxury comes after you build first. You have to build something in the household so that way y'all be on the same level. But sometimes you're not equal because one is going one direction, the other one now you unequal, which means it's unequally yoked. That's what makes it unequal, because women look at it as, I need to invest. You are investing in children. That's the riches and glory. You are investing in your riches and glory, which means is the treasure are the children. You're going to leave something behind for your family. That's why you build a legacy. You leave something for the riches and glory. Whatever that means, the blessing, which means if you give, leave something, build something, is for the children. You have to leave it for your generation that's coming after you. But sometimes a lot of you misunderstand that principle, which means if you are building a family, that's the riches that the Lord is saying. He's saying your riches in is the children. That's the inheritance. He'll give you the inheritance, which means he will bring down the treasures of heaven, which means a lot of you men are looking for the treasure. The wife is the family is the treasure. That's the riches. The family is the treasure because you need a tree. The tree is being built. Then you have a then you look at the tree. You look at God, you look at Christ, you look the church, but Christ is over the church. Then you look at man, Christ is over man, then man over woman, woman over children. See the inheritance, see the tree? That's the inheritance. That's the tree, the family tree. That's see, you come from God first, because God is the creator, then Christ, which is the Son, and then there's a spirit there, which is the Holy Spirit, and then there's a man, and there's a church, then Christ over the church, and Christ is over the man. The man is over the woman is over the child. That's the lineage. That's why a lot of people miss the lineage. But a man and a woman have to have that order. But if you pick another outside the order, then it's disorder. Then there's a lot of confusion when it comes to marriage, because marriage gets separated because there's one. He's the opposer. He comes to John 10:10, kill, steal, and destroy. You have one adversary who's against marriage, because marriage is to have a unit, a covenant with the creator, to align yourself as a communion. That means coming together as a unit, as a village. When you raise a village, you need to be in alignment with your creator so you can have a balance. Now, let's get past the spiritual part and the principle. This is why a man and a woman need to be married and be in a relationship. When you pick someone, pick it based off of that narrative. Some say, well, that narrative doesn't work. I didn't try that narrative. Okay. Now, when you tried it, did you talk about that first? Or did you tell them about what you're looking for in a marriage? Because there's two different things. If you talk about that principle first, then you got to explain it in a way where it says what your values, what your family values, because family values is number one. Your goals is number two, as to what type of marriage you want. What type of marriage do you want? Do you want a marriage that's a partnership? Do you want a marriage to build an inheritance or a legacy? You got to set your goals in the beginning. Set some goals. Talk about values. Talk about family. Family. The inheritance, which means your treasures. What do you treasure about your partner? Look, I also put this key put. Talk about what kind of spouse or partner you want. Talk about a partner. Well, I want this in a partner. When y'all say that, the main thing, don't talk about money. Don't talk about money. Money comes later on in the relationship or marriage. Don't talk about money. Somebody said, well, we need to talk about money. Okay. So when you talk about it in the beginning, guess what? It loses its value later on because when things start to come together, money will come with that because you are setting your goals. You're setting your goals together. You'll have the same financial plan. You got to have a financial plan. Most marriages don't have a financial plan. When you're married, you got to have a financial plan. Have a financial plan. Build a plan. Have a business model, which means that sets with a partner who's on the same mind. Now, to be in the same mind, you got to set your goals and you got to say it early. When you're dating, you got to look at your goals. State what your goals are. Say, well, this is my goal. This is the status I want in as far as finances. Put that on top of your relationship or your dating. Tell people your financial goals. Like, what is your financial goal? How much do you want to reach? That's where status comes in. Status comes in when you say what your goals are, then the other person will say what their goals are. You gotta tell each other your goals in the beginning before you get in a relationship. Relationships are about setting goals. Set it together. Well, this is my goal. Okay, well, what are your goals? Well, this is my goal. This is the goal. This is my goal. Okay, now y'all know each other goals. Now y'all can set that goal together. Well, let's reach this goal. Well, once you reach that goal, do a checklist. How many goals you reach, do a checklist. And the more you do that, you'll start to build off your goals. We all have goals, but how do you build those goals? How do you train that? You do it in the beginning when you started first dating. When you date, your first dates or first 50 dates, that's a movie, first 50 dates. Go see that. Then you start building goals. Men men build have a goal setting. Get it on your phone, get it on a calendar, get a vision board and just plan things. Get a vision board and write your goals. Then when y'all see each other's goals clearly, then y'all talk about it. That's what builds healthy relationship because you're setting a goal with each other. That's an activity that the whole family can do. And if you have kids, do an activity planner. That's something an activity planner works. It works. An activity planner works because now y'all know what activities to work on as a couple. Have being a couple means having activities to do. That way y'all can see each other's activities and then y'all can work on it with the children or y'all can work on it before you get children. See, that's the thing about being in a relationship and marriage because you need activities, you need hobby. That's why the marriages kind of die out because there's no activity or hobbies that you're doing together. You gotta do hobbies, you gotta do activities, so that way when somebody see, oh, that's your activities, you can tell other couples and you can give other couples about activities you do together. And then y'all can talk about your activities. Y'all plan a trip every weekend, or y'all plan a getaway trip to go do a massage together, or y'all do bike riding together, y'all go on a trail, or y'all jump rope exercise together, y'all do it with the children. Activities are good. Set some activities for if you have children, set activities because kids like to engage. The more you engage the kids, the more manageable they become, which means they'll start to think on ways to become more productive. Children like to partake in what grown-ups do. They like to be participant in activity. Like if y'all have a movie night, that's a good thing. If y'all have a trivia game night, create trivia. Trivia is very good because we all gather together. Do charades, do Pictionary. Activities are good, especially family game night. Have a family game night where everybody's sitting down after school, work, or whatever it is. Have a family game night. Y'all all sitting down at the table. We just all talk about our ideas. What idea do you have from family game night? That engages family activity. That's what keeps the family together. That makes things much easier for you as parents because now you see where the kids' ideas are coming from. You want that. You want to build their character, build children's character, make children comfortable with doing things with you as the parents of the household. But when it's two-parent household, kids need to see a male and female, one man, one woman in the household, so it builds, you know, the characteristics of your creator. And that way, you will have a foundation. Foundation starts with building and doing things, engaging as family activities. That's very important. Okay, last thing, listen, marriage is about commitment and unity. Unity means seeing things the same way, being equal, and trying to build your character and value and to be a traditional family. Because when you have modern family that's blended, one who's different than you, it's okay. If it's one who's different than you, who has different ideas, different values, different background, accept each other's background. Accept it. That way you'll know about each other's background and where your different views come from. And guess what? Guess what? Your marriage will be successful. You'll have a successful marriage. Because when you have different background, different ideas, different visions, different goals, activities, you set boundaries, you set goals. Once you start to build this, then the family will grow as one. Make sense? All right, friends. Until next time. Next time we're going to discuss some other things about how to have some successful job and what job is valuable for you. Till next time. See you on the next man's therapy. Stay tuned. Bye bye.